Welcome back to another edition of the His and Her Money Show. We're so glad to have you all back here with us because we have a very special guest to share with you all today. We're going to be talking with Dave Ramsey personality Anthony ONeal, and he's going to be talking about the Graduate Survival Guide.
Yeah, this is so important because everyone is probably impacted by knowing someone or maybe having a child that will go to college one day. So this interview was extremely exceptional and you guys are going to enjoy it.
Hey, Anthony, welcome to the His and Her Money Show.
Hello, Anthony.
His and Her Money Show. What's going on, Bam?
What's going on, good sir? We're super excited to have you with us. We've been following you for a while, ever since you joined Dave Ramsey's team. You bring a whole new energy and excitement to the youth around the country, around the world, really. So we were super excited that you agreed to come on the show today. And for the few people that may not know who you are, can you just take some time and introduce yourself to everybody and let them know what you're all about?
Definitely. And again, thanks so much for having me on, y'all. I'm a huge fan of y'all's as well. I follow your organization ministry. Y'all are killing the game. But a little bit about myself. My name is Anthony ONeal, the newest Ramsey personality to join the team here with Dave Ramsey, with Rachel Cruz, Chris Hogan, Chris Brown, Christy Wright, who has a book coming out here soon, and then myself as well. And my space, which is actually my passion, is to really reach the millennial and youth space. So that 18 to 24, all the way down to your high school and middle school. And it's because I made so many mistakes during that time, which we'll get into that a little bit later on. But that's my call here. It's just to really spread our message out to the young people. And there's so many things we're doing in that space, which I'm excited about. But that's really my heart and my passion, is to really reach young people across the country.
And I think people see you going all across the country, churches and stages and venues. You're hanging out with Dave Ramsey, and they might think you had it all together all the time for the entirety of your existence. But there was quite a few bumps along the road to get you to the place that you are today. Can you kind of take us back a little bit to your beginnings and how those things shaped who you are today?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. You know what? A lot of people see that. A lot of people see me on the big stage with Dave. They see me doing stuff with Bishop T.D. Jakes at a Mega Fest. They see all that type of stuff. But really, God just really put that into motion recently. My biological father and mother, they did not get married. They had me out of wedlock. And so I grew up in Oceanside, California, and then half of it into Fayetteville, North Carolina. I graduated at Southview High School. And I'll never forget, y'all, it was like on a Thursday night at 7 p.m. I graduated high school, and at 2 a.m. Friday morning, I was on the road to California because I was ready to leave. And that's where life really started happening for me. I'm in college, and I'm seeing all these beautiful ladies around, just being real. And I'm like, yo, I need some money. And so I went and applied for credit cards. And y'all, before I even turned 18 and a half, I was in $15,000 worth of credit card debt, $10,000 in furniture debt, with a total of $25,000. And I, unfortunately, after that, was kicked out of college for doing and participating in hazing, which I highly, highly, highly disagree with for young people who are in college right now. But I participated in hazing, and I lost my scholarship, lost my grants. And when I lost my scholarship and grants, I honestly lost my job that was connected to my school. When I lost my job, I lost my apartment. When I lost my apartment, I caught myself going home, but my father didn't let me come home. He said, you was a grown man, so hey, you're gonna fix it. You're gonna learn from your mistakes. And y'all, I left that house homeless. For 6 weeks of my life, I slept in the back of my car, just thinking and like, what in the world is going on? I'm 19, both sides of my family, they're not poor, they're not broke. They're doing well for themselves, but this 19-year-old kid is sleeping in the back of his car because of poor decisions that I made. And for 6 weeks, that's where I was at. And so life turned around a little bit, and I got back home. My father helped me to turn some things around, and then boom, when things started happening from there. But here's the thing. I went back into debt because I went back to school, and I took out $25,000 worth of student loans, and I didn't even need them. And so here I go, going right back into that trap. But things turned around, paid that off as well. So today I stand before everyone debt-free, owe no man nothing, don't owe a student loan, don't owe nothing. I'm just having fun with life now. But it has not been always easy for myself.
Let's talk about that gap right there that you just mentioned, where you accumulated debt, had to leave school, went back to school, and got more debt. For a lot of people, they get to a place to where they realize they made a mistake in regards to debt, and they vowed to never do it again, but then they do it again. Talk about that mindset. How can somebody escape from falling back into the cycle of going back into debt, saying I won't do it, and then going back into debt again?
You know, for me, it's about determination. And determination, I'll say knowledge as well. You know, no one really explained to me what student loans were and how to even avoid them. And so I'll say one major thing is do your research on student loans. And if you're watching this, student loans, stay away from them. That's your research. OK, and so that's one thing for me is that I didn't have the knowledge. And then two, I wasn't determined to stay away from the debt. I wasn't determined to stay away from student loans. I was like, hey, why pay for it out of my pocket when I could borrow somebody else's money and let them pay for it? And I had already had scholarships. So I used those student loans to not pay for school, but to pay for my life and to pay for my fun. And so that was a crazy decision. But I recommend people now, when you say, hey, I'm going to get out of debt and I'm going to stay out of debt, I need you to stay determined to stay out of debt. And no matter what, run from it. That's what I highly recommend from everyone right now.
Absolutely. So now you're well known for using the mantra, it's that serious. Can you give us the backstory on that?
Oh, that's a great backstory. I love it. All right. So I was in the gym about 2 years ago. I love going to the gym, went to the gym this morning. I would not miss it for no matter what. But on this one particular day, I was in the gym and my trainer said, Anthony, you're short and you're starting to get wide. And I was like, wide? I was like, well, that's a good thing. The fiance loves that. She loves the, It was like, no, she would not like that. And so he said, Anthony, you need to add cardio to your workout. And so I went and jumped on a treadmill, and in front of me was this lady, y'all, and she was going hard on the elliptical machine. But this lady was like 75 years old, and she was just really going hard. I mean, spit was coming out of her mouth, sweat was coming out of her hair. I mean, you name it. She was just really focused and going. And a lot of people were looking at her, laughing. I was laughing as well, I'm not gonna lie. But then two young millennials walked right behind me and said, ma'am, it's not that serious. And I was like, it's really not that serious. And so she gets off of the elliptical machine. She goes over to get some water. And so I get off the treadmill and I go get some water as well. And I ask her and I was like, hey, ma'am, are you okay? She says yes. And she asked me for my name and I told her my name. And she said, Anthony, if you would have seen me a year ago, you would have seen that I weigh 380 something pounds. I was like, whoa, wait, are you serious? And so she said, yes. Well, on that particular day, she weighed about 230 pounds. She said, Anthony, I walked into the doctor's office and my doctor asked me, how do you feel? I told him I feel great. He told me, while you feel okay, you're not okay. You've actually put yourself in a position to where you can have a massive heart attack. And she said, that shifted my whole life. And she said, Anthony, I left the doctor's office determined to save my life. So every single day I get on this elliptical machine and I go hard because to me, my life is that serious. It's that serious. And she said, while people sit here and look at me and laugh at me, that's fine because I'm still living. You can laugh, but I'm living. And that just whoa. Because earlier someone said, it's not that serious. She said, no, it is that serious. And it just got me to think like millennials and young people are always thinking we have time on our side, that we can get away with things. So it's not that serious when no, it is that serious. And so one thing I teach young people is the caliber of your future is going to be determined by the choices that you make today. So that one decision that you make can change it for the good or change it for the bad. So every one decision that you make, it's that serious. That's my passion. That's my heart. And that's my message.
Now, Anthony, you have released a brand new book called The Graduate Survival Guide, which is phenomenal. I mean, it covers everything that a student needs to know in order to come out on the other side of that graduation debt in a great position financially. And what I really loved was the fact that you put a twist on it and you added some real life testimonials from college students. Talk to us about what made you go in that direction with writing this book.
But the key thing that really, the team and I actually was like, hey, how do we really reach young people today? You know, I think I'm young. I think I look like I'm young. But we was like, you know, young people relate to other young people, because it's easy for someone like myself or Dave to go tell a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid like, hey, do this. They're gonna look at us like, well, it's easy for you to do that, but it's not easy for me to do that. And so we wanted to show them stories of other young people in their early 20s who either just graduated college or in college currently, who have good stories and bad stories. And this all started because one of my young ladies who I mentored when I was a youth pastor in Jacksonville, Florida, she graduated high school with $88,000 in student loans, went on to college. And because she went to a in-state college, right, they gave her a full ride. The college did. So she already found $88,000 worth of scholarships. She went to an in-state school. They gave her a full ride. So she was able to use about $40,000 of that to go to the college. Well, the college turned around and gave her back about $4,000 a semester just to live off of. So that was like, okay, we need to show other young people that this 22-year-old graduated debt-free and she went about it the right way. Her family is not wealthy at all. They were literally tight on funds, but she worked hard. And so one thing we want to show people in this book, like, hey, if you go after the student loans route, this is the consequence. If you work hard now while you're in high school, while you're a freshman, while you're a sophomore, while you're a junior, this could work for you. Now, it's not easy. We also want to tell them that, hey, it wasn't easy for this young lady to go home and tell her friends, no, I can't go out this weekend. No, I'm not going to get on the phone and talk to you all for 2-3 hours. I'm going to get online. I'm going to look up scholarships. I'm going to look up grants, because when I turn 22 and I'll go into my job force, into the job world, I want to be debt free. I want to be going into my future, not worried about my past. So it's not easy. And that's why we really want to show kids in this book other successful stories of young people. And then also as well of stories that, hey, I did take out the student loans. I am actually 32 and I'm still paying back my student loans. So we wanted to show them both sides.
And it almost sounds similar to my story. I remember being a freshman in high school. I was 13 years old. And I remember having the thought, one day I want to go to college, but I'm either going to worry about figuring out how to pay for college and be debt free, or I'm going to be married after college with a family, with a home and bills, and be stressed out about how we're going to pay back these student loans. And my husband always jokes, he says, Ty, nobody was thinking about that at 13. Yeah.
I mean, really?
And I worked extremely hard. Now, it took me 5 years to finish because I was cash flowing it and I was working at a shoe store. So I tell people, you can do it. You don't have to go to college. And I went to a well-known, very prestigious college, completely debt-free. And now we were able to get married. We didn't have to worry about student loan debt. So I tell people, if they can, there's ways that you can definitely cash flow college for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you got a good wife, man. She did you right.
Oh, he's blessed.
I'm married
okay?
up. I'm married up. Listen, I should get credit for picking the right one at least.
That's right. I love that.
I'm with you, man. She ain't bring no student loan debt in the building. Yes. Amen. I love it, man.
I love that. So what are the common mistakes that you see students making in relation to their finances?
Well, the number one clearly is student loans. You know, and here's the thing. It's not really the kid's fault. Like, that mistake is not really the kid's fault. I think it's the parents, it's the counselors, it's us, the adults. We're not educating them and making them spend time looking for scholarships. We're saying, hey, go ahead and get a little bit of scholarships. And, you know, hey, just take out some student loans down the road to cover the rest. No. So that's the number one mistake. And I honestly am on a mission to make sure that I help them avoid that mistake. The number two is credit cards. I mean, think about it, y'all. I made the biggest mistake ever. I will never forget. My first credit card was because they offered me 2 large pieces and 1 free t-shirt. The most expensive large pieces I've ever paid for in my life. $500 was the credit card limit. And I'm like, what in the world? And so they say now, on the average, a sophomore in college has between $1,100 to $1,300 on a credit card and do not have a job. To me, that is insane. And I think that is a crazy decision for them to be making. But then also too, we're seeing they're not even having a plan for the money and saving money. They'll get the money, they'll go spend it, get some Jordans, get the latest and greatest stuff. And they're not sitting down and budgeting and saving and preparing for the future because they want to look good in the current, which there's nothing wrong with looking good in the current. But what about your future? Are you prepared for, the mistakes, not the mistakes, but the things that may come up, the emergencies that may come up, like a flat tire or cell phone breaking? And they don't have that many emergencies that would be expensive. But, hey, $500 in a savings account for a high school student and a college student, that's a lot of money. And that's a good flight home if something happens to the family or if the tire goes flat. That's just some good resources to have. So those are the things that I'm seeing right now when it comes to students. But all that also starts off, I'm just going to be real, it's just in the mind. A lot of kids are spending money because they're not secure in who they are and they want to impress their friends. They want to blend in to the environment that they're around. And one thing I travel around teaching young people is be secure in who you are and sacrifice the latest so that tomorrow you can have the greatest. And what's the greatest is like what you said, like, hey, I was 13, I sacrificed everything and I worked hard. But when I got married, I came to the table checking my husband saying, hey, this is what it is, So that's one thing I'm just teaching young people now is to really enjoy life, but be secure in you and do not make those mistakes.
Now, I think that parents play a significant role in their children's lives, especially once they're entering college. Are there any strategies that parents can put into place to help their children financially?
Absolutely. Every single month when parents are sitting down budgeting, and if you're watching this and you're not budgeting, then you need to be budgeting. But when you are budgeting, hey, bring your son, bring your daughter, bring your child to the table and show them how to budget. Show them how to spend their money on paper with a purpose before the month even begins. I think that is a huge thing that students need to learn before leaving and going off. And here's number 2 is we're not giving them allowances. We don't believe in allowance, but we believe in chores. When you do stuff around the house, give them commission for what they're doing. Show them how to save, how to set money aside. Let them spend it and have some fun, but show them how to save a portion of their income. And boom, they have some emergency funds on the side. And 3, give them some responsibilities. If their cell phone bill is $60, maybe you have them giving you $20 a month after working. Give them some type of responsibilities, because if we always give them everything when they go off on their own, that's going to hurt them rather than help them. So give them some responsibilities around the house. Those would be the 3 main things that I will focus on right now.
You kind of alluded to it earlier when we were talking about student loans a bit, and you said, a lot of times it's not the kid's fault. And one of the people that you kind of named were counselors. And I've worked in the education field for a number of years, particularly at the high school level. And I know that for what reason, I'm not sure, but student loans are pushed as this is how you pay for college. There's more, it's become normalized. That's what I'm looking for. Even when a kid is sitting down with a guidance counselor, talking about their options for college. And so a lot of times parents are looking to them as the experts and kind of, for lack of a better term, going along with that. Can you give out some resources that maybe parents and students can use to research some options for scholarships and grants to show that, there are other options, like you said, other than the student loan route?
Yes, I have 2 that I love personally, that I recommend to all of the students that I talk to. And I even still pastor some kids and mentor them along the way. And the number 1 for me is MyScholly, MyScholly.com, MyScholly. And I love MyScholly because it comes in the form of an app, so kids can have it on their phone. Then also they can go online to the website. And I'm pretty sure you all know about this as well, but it's like this program is great. So they spend about 10 minutes, fill out everything, if they're African American, if they're Caucasian, if they're a son to a single mother. Like, they ask them 1,000,000 questions to see all they qualify. Once they qualify, every single day, this app is going to send them a push notification. It's going to say, hey, 2 scholarships became available today. You should apply for these. And then when they apply for them, and if they get the scholarship, it's going to send them another push notification saying, hey, you've won the scholarship. Or, hey, unfortunately, you didn't, but here goes some more scholarships. And so I remember doing that with our kids here recently. and literally every single day they received about 3 scholarships. And then every week it sends them out how much money that is still out there that they have not applied for, that they qualified for. And so my Scoli is, for me, one of the best resources out there, because it goes out and searches the entire web, brings it into one, pushes it out. Then another one that is not as big as my Scholly that I think is a great resource, though, for parents to look into is raise.me, RAISE.me. This is a great website, and it has about 125 colleges in it. And what this is they really focus on the kid applying themselves inside of school. So if they make an A, they're going to get a large amount of money in scholarships. If they make a B, they'll get some money. If they make a C, they'll get a little bit of money. But D's and F's, you don't get nothing. Well, let's just say they're being a good student in school. The teacher sends home a good letter. They can upload that to raise.me, and that school is going to give them some money. Here's the thing, and here's the difference. It's not a scholarship outside. So if I upload an A, and let's just say Tennessee State is inside of that program, Tennessee State gives me the money, and I only can use that money at Tennessee State. And so I would recommend teachers, parents, students, if you're watching, if you see a college on there that you like, then do it. If there's not a college in there that you want to go to, then don't worry about that website. But I would definitely say go look at it. Make sure the school is in there. If it is, man, great resource to have. If it's not, My Scoli is a great resource because it's going to really help you from here until the time you graduate. And I can say this: if you spend 30 minutes to an hour on My Scoli, however they pronounce it, every single day, and you're a freshman, you will raise enough money to go to school, guaranteed.
Those are great resources.
As a freshman, I think that's important that you just mentioned starting as a freshman. I think a lot of times parents and students alike think, junior year at the earliest, and some people don't get started till their senior year. So your advice is to look into these things starting from 9th grade.
Actually, a little bit earlier than that. I actually recommend middle school students to start looking. It's not a lot out there for middle school, but hey, there are a few. And so if you can get those and get into high school and you already have $5,000-$6,000 raised for college, man, that's a huge step. So I recommend 30 minutes for a middle school student and an hour every single day as a freshman looking up scholarships. I know some people are like, I can't spend an hour. That's a lot of time. But the average student spends 9 hours a day on their cell phone. And so what's an hour out of that? Just saying, hey, I'm going to spend 1 hour out of that just looking for money to help me for my future. So I highly recommend that. And I honestly, I hate it when I hear people say, I'm going to wait till my junior or senior year. Then you're not really determined to be debt free. You're not really determined to take your life seriously today. And so I tell freshmen, do not make any excuses. Do it, because you will thank yourself when you turn 22 and you're graduating from college debt free.
That's good. Yeah, we're going to definitely make sure that we include those links in the show notes. So definitely check the show notes, and you can check the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. Another question that we have for you: if you could go back in time, back to your college days, what would you do differently?
Everything. No, I'm just playing. I've learned a lot, though. Honestly, I've learned a lot from that, and I'm grateful for those mistakes that I made, because it matured me and it's grown me as a man. But if I can go back and talk to the younger Anthony ONeal, I definitely would say the very first thing is get to know yourself, Anthony. Stop looking at everyone else. Stop looking what they have on. Stop looking at what the guys are doing and how they're getting the young ladies. Just being transparent for me. Be comfortable in who you are. You are a man who was fearfully and wonderfully made, and you have a purpose, and get your education, stay focused on your goals, and allow everything else to come into play. So that would be the very first thing I would tell myself, is to change your attitude and focus on your goals. And 2, I would run away from debt. Every time I walk into, I am about to propose to the love of my life here soon. I won't say when, because this is going to be on the internet. So just keep a lookout for that, y'all. But I walked into to get my ring, and the very first thing they asked me was, hey, do you want to finance this? Fill out this application. I was like, nah, I'm good. And I literally almost left the store because I just wanted to run away from debt. I just wanted to pay cash for it. So that'd be the very second thing is, hey, run away from those credit card companies, run away from student loans, run away from furniture, because that's another thing that I'm seeing college students do now, is that they're going to these buy here, pay here furniture stores, and leasing out this furniture and financing the furniture, which is a crazy decision to make. I did that. And so that's another thing I would tell myself is to do is don't worry about that. Sleep on the floor until you can buy a bed.
There's one more aspect of your book that I think not enough dialogue and discussion is happening. And it's one that gets under my skin, you know, working with high school students, and I won't name the major, but they'll say, yeah, I'm going to go study this. I'm like, that's the major that everybody picks when they don't know what they want to do. It's one particular major, right? And I'm not going to say what it is, just in case somebody has that degree listening.
That's that one particular major.
But it's so important. You elaborate very well in the book that you have to choose your major carefully, because even choosing the right or the wrong major has an impact on you financially. Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
How do I say this without saying that major? So without saying the major, spend some time on just getting to know yourself and what's your passion. Do not go into school rushing, because here's the truth. Everyone's going to say you need to go to college, you need to go to college, you need to go to college. I am a huge fan of students going to college. But hey, check this out. If you got to take out student loans, I say move slowly. And then if you're going to college and you don't know what you want to do and you don't know what your passion is, then maybe you need to step back, go talk to a parent or guardian, go and talk to a teacher and ask them one question. What do you see in me that I don't see in myself? And listen to what those people are giving you. And then sit down and say, okay, listen, when people said I love to talk a lot, I always got in trouble. Okay, cool. So maybe that's a lawyer. Since you love to argue, since you love to talk, maybe you need to look into that field. Because when you can match your career path with and not your career path, but when you can match your major with your passion and what you're good at and what you will enjoy doing, and that's going to set you up for a great career. When you have a great career, you are just like excited in life because it's like, hey, I did the right things. But I see a lot of people that I've met who ain't got that one particular degree, and they are miserable because where they really want to go, that degree doesn't help them out. It doesn't prepare them for that. So I recommend young people to spend time, get to know yourselves, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, talk to your mentors, and ask them that one question, and then figure out, okay, where can I go with this as far as in a major? Where can I go with this as far as in a career path? Because I always tell people, hey, what is your dream career? What do you want to do? And once you identify that career, then you match that with the major. Once you figure out that major, then you match that with the school. Once you figure out the school, then you can figure out some other stuff. But that's what I highly recommend. Please don't rush into college, y'all, just to get a degree. Don't do it.
Now, if there is a parent or a student that is listening right now and they're a little bit fearful about the whole entire college, entering college and debt and student loans, what words of encouragement can you offer to them right now?
If you're fearful about debt and student loans, good. Don't get into it. I would definitely encourage you to sit back and to take your time. Community college is okay. There is nothing wrong with going to community college. I am a big fan of it. And that is one thing I would go back and tell myself, hey, Anthony, maybe going to a 4-year school is not for you. Maybe starting off slow and cash flowing your way through community college is a great idea because you're going to get into smaller classrooms. You have more one-on-one with professors. And then it's a better environment for certain kids. And so I recommend hey, if you're nervous about this, if you don't have the finances to go to a 4-year community college, then not 4-year community college, but a 4-year school, go to a community college, okay? And even if for some parents, and some kids may want to do hair for a living and have her own hair salon, go to a trade school. Go get the proper education that is best for your career path and that is best for you. Everyone's path looks different from everyone else's, but everyone's end goal is to be debt-free and to be the very best in their field. How we get there is totally different. Some may go to college, some may go to trade school, some may go into the service. It's all good and gravy. But here's the main thing. Stay away from debt, run from it, be scared of it, and avoid it.
Absolutely. Listen, every middle school, high school student and their parent needs your book. So tell them where they can pick up a copy and how they can connect with you.
It's simple. You can go to my website, AnthonyONeal.com. Again, that's Anthony ONeal, ONEAL.com. And that's where you can get a copy of my book. And all my social media is on my website as well. I would really love to connect with a lot of people. I respond to all the emails that come in and tweets and YouTube comments, all the type of stuff. I literally spend time. And so if any student, any parent has a question, please feel free to send me a message on my website or reach out to me on social media. And all my social media accounts are at Anthony ONeal. And I would love to hear from him, and I will respond. It's me, not nobody else.
Awesome. Awesome. And again, the name of the book is The Graduate Survival Guide. Everybody go and pick up a copy today. Anthony, this has been awesome. This has been inspiring and educational. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Y'all are amazing.
Wow. Wasn't that amazing? I mean, Anthony shared so much information. And you know what? You got to put it into action, and you cannot delay. A lot of times, parents and students alike are waiting to junior year and senior year to start putting in that work to find those scholarships and grants. Well, Anthony said we should be starting in middle school, ninth grade, 10th grade. So, man, he shared so much information. Pick up his book, The Graduate Survival Guide. It is a fantastic read, full of information and resources that will help you and your student be able to go to college and not have to come out with a mountain of debt. We all know that the student loan crisis is just that. It's a crisis. And if there are things that you can do to help your child or even help yourself avoid that crisis, then you need to do it. So go pick up a copy of his book today.
If this interview has inspired you and you want to learn more, then head over to our website, hisandhermoney.com. We would love to walk you through this process.
Well, guys, that's all we got for this time. Until next time, it's been great. Peace.
Bye.